We've just shot stand 7 on the British Open sporting course. As you can see from the footage, I shot it really, really well. Unfortunately not. Here at stand 8 on the British Open sporting, we have another target off the tower. So we've got a right to left standard crosser off the tower, followed by a standard crow from the bales behind me. So we'll take a look through the shot cam and see how we get on with these. Yeah, definitely. I mean, missing one of those crows was quite impressive, I thought. And the nice thing is, Jamie Brightman's giving me plenty of abuse for missing all those rabbits, and he has just seen me hit all those tower birds, so that's good news. It's been good fun. It's been a long week, a whole week of setting up, and that was with sort of 4 or 5 of us out every day, grafting, getting stuck in and moving stuff. So I guess the big thing for us, we've done the Pro 1 Challenge 2 weeks prior to this, so quite a lot of work to switch it all around and make it a completely different shoot. Obviously it's not only 100 to 120 sporting, but it's also 100 sport trap as well. So quite a lot of work, but it's good fun. Stand 12 of the British Open sporting course this year for 2022. We've got a low left to right white target, followed by a right to left orange batu. So you're shooting from a raised platform, shooting down on the target. So a slightly different shooting position, not something we see every day in the UK. So sort of quite a few people won't have necessarily shot from a raised platform before, so we'll see how we get on. What can happen is sometimes when you shoot off a raised platform on something down, a lot of people think, oh, I've got to get a long way underneath it. Here, you're not a massive height, but you're just following the line of the target and just making sure the gun's on the bottom edge of the target the whole time, just to keep on that line. Very easy, I think, read into it too much and think the line's completely different. But here, we're not a huge sort of great deal higher than the target, so just keep on the bottom edge of the target. Here we are, stand 4 of the British Open sporting course. Shooting from a raised platform. This time we've got 2 blaze coloured targets. So one is a right to left standard, not particularly quick and sort of curling away from us, followed by a left to right midi, which is a little bit flatter. So we'll see how we get on with those, and then we'll talk through them there.
When setting a course, are you trying to hurt people in this sort of scenario?
I think just getting them to think, you know, again, the British Open, it's a championship course, it's the flagship event for the year, you know, it's the blue ribbon event for the CPSA in sporting. So it's our first year doing it. Obviously we hosted the English sporting last year, British sporting this year. It's meant to be a challenge, you know. I think most of the shooters that book in for the event, we've got sort of nearly 1,300 people shooting this week, they expect it to be a challenge, you know, they know what they're coming for. So you can challenge people not only with speeds and angles, a little bit of distance, you know, throw some different targets. As we've seen with the rabbit coming off the tower earlier, there'll be a lot of people that have never seen a target like that. So it's creating new things, shooting from platforms, which not everyone does all the time. So it's giving scenarios for the shooter that they perhaps have never seen before, and that's going to be quite a challenge in itself. Yeah, listen, it's interesting. You're just working out where the gun's shooting a little bit, but yeah, quite a challenging pair of targets. Again, the first one, realistically, the first one should be on the card every time. You know, the gun's in the right place to start off with, it should be in the card every time. The midi's a little bit more tricky getting onto it, but if you're on your game on the day, I expect you to be coming off here with sort of 7 or 8 out of 8.
How many easy ones do you expect people to miss?
I don't know, it's different. I mean, you always expect it. You speak to a majority of people, if you speak to them whatever they've shot on a course, whether it be a championship event, a normal Sunday racial event, or a midweek event, you can guarantee they'll say, oh, I've shot 94, but I missed 3 of those easy crosses on stand 5, for example. Everyone fascinates on the easy target they miss, and I think that what people forget about when they're shooting, they forget about all the hard ones they hit. So it's just as easy to miss anything, you know, but to build a score, you've got to be killing all those easier targets, let's say. That's where you're going to build your score, because most sporting courses majority are made up of those sort of easy to medium targets, and that's where you're going to build your score. Everyone, slight slip in concentration, they'll miss an easy target. And you can go around today, you can speak to some of the guys today, I can guarantee they'll all fascinate on the easy ones they miss rather than the hard ones they hit. This is my house. No, we'll cut that. Welcome to my castle, stand 15 of the British Open sporting course for 2022. The last stand. Hopefully it'll bring a smile to quite a few people's faces at the end of the course. It's a bit of fun, it's a gimmick. We had this idea, Ian Parker from the CPSA came to me and said, Josh, out in America, we shot from a straw bale castle. could we do something very similar here for the British Open? I was like, well, we do like a challenge, something a bit of a gimmick, bit of fun, a talking point for the event. So stand 15, we don't actually shoot from within the castle, but it's the backdrop with a target coming through the castle and a target coming off the top of it. So bit of a gimmick, bit of fun, something to give people a smile about at the end of the course.
I like it, mate. It means you've gone the extra mile.
Yeah, I mean, huge effort. So a couple of lads who on the shooting school here who could drive the Manitous, we had bales from the field, literally that you stood on there, Johnny. We were messing around with it. This was about phase 4, I think we got to in the end. But yeah, it's good fun. It's a bit of fun. On the Rosini layout, which is layout for the British Open Sport Trap 2022. Last layout of the course, so British Open Sport Trap, 100 targets shot across 4 layouts during the week. So starting on Tuesday, finishing on Saturday was a prize giving Saturday evening. It's definitely shot a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to. Some of the sim pairs, obviously with Sport Trap, the format being each cage, one single, a non-report pair, then a simultaneous pair, 5 different targets. There are no restrictions on the targets that can be set, so you can, as long as everything's lettered left to right, A through to E, left to right in clockwise order, you can set whatever you like. So sort of speeds and angles and the combination of the simultaneous pairs, something from the left, something from the right, definitely catches people out. I think leading so far we've got Sam Green on 95, which I think phenomenal shooting. I think James Bradley Day is currently sitting second in 92. So we're on day 3 of the Sport Trap today. It'll be interesting to see who's top of the board on Saturday. Personally, I think 95 is going to take some beating, but we will see what happens Saturday.
Have you shot a bit?
I haven't shot any of the Sport Trap courses. I was too much of a wimp. It looked too hard for me. No, I was purely time basis. We shot some of the sporting stands, as you saw earlier. We haven't shot any of the Sport Trap stands. We did a few people shot some of the sim pairs and stuff to check they could be shot either way around. But yeah, no, it's not been shot by myself. Layout 3, swap comp, British Open Sport Trap 2022. So every year the British Open Sport Trap runs alongside the British Open Sport Trap on the same ground at the same week. Both events run all side by side. So the British Open Sport Trap, it's 100 birds shot over 4 layouts, and the British Open Sporting, 120 sporting, shot over 15 stands.
It's nice getting over the nerves a little bit, sort of first stand nerves, bit of butterflies, but we'll get over it eventually and settle into it.
Do you often get first stand nerves?
Yeah, at the big stuff, yes. First couple of stands and then they dwindle away and settle into it and get going, hopefully.
Shot the one all right?
Yeah, drop one silly one, but we can live with that and move on.
Yeah, move on, forget about it, go straight to the rest.
Start again and get on with the rest of them.
You feeling lucky today? You feel like you got the sauce?
We can but try. Always feeling lucky.
Okay, hi there. My name's Ian Parker, CEO of the CPSA, here at Barbury Shooting Ground for the British Open English Sporting competition. And you know, we've been here before last year for the English, and we've come back here for the British, and we've also got the British Open Sport Trap. Fantastic ground. I mean, the team here do a phenomenal job, and Josh has spent months planning this competition and course, and reports from the first 3 days of shooting are superb. You know, shooters saying it's a very challenging course, but they're enjoying it. And I think that's one of the things that we at the CPSA, our responsibility, and I see it as one of my jobs, is looking at developing and growing the championships across the CPSA. We run all the major championships across the sporting championships in England. And that means several things of not just growing the number of people that come in. We've got over 1,500 people shooting here this week at the sporting and the sport trap, but it's also about bringing new people into competition and sporting. So interestingly, 2/3 of our membership at the CPSA don't actually shoot registered shoots or competitions. So 3 years ago, when I sort of started, I sort of looked at that and tried to think, how do we get more people into the championships? And our championships now are more popular than ever. This one we sold out in 24 hours on opening up the booking, and we added a day on, and we sold that out within 24 hours, and we have a wait list on a daily basis for people. And we've been able to bring in new sponsors. We've got new headline sponsors have just joined us with Schofel and Le Chameau. and we've got a range of other headline sponsors that support all of our championships throughout the season. So for us, for me, the championships are part of the product of the CPSA, and it's really important that we develop them and change them and promote them and take them forward into the future. And I think in turn that'll help grow the sport right the way down to grassroots level. So for us, it's a really exciting time within clay shooting.
Well, finally we have the new batch of 460L just arrived in UK. So very few modifications with the first production. People prefer, for example, the blued furniture. And then we have different rib. This in particular is a 11x7 top rib. Then we have the classic 11x11. Then we have also the ramped rib. But anyway, we have a more detailed engraving. The selector on the trigger guard is, even if it's not usual, when you start shooting and using this kind of selector, it will be very, very natural to find and with the finger the position of the selector. Then, of course, the true boss style locking system and the detachable trigger unit, coil spring on rod. So even if in case of a broken of a spring, you can continue to use the gun. So there are coil spring. You can see in this metal box, you can see a small portion of coil spring. So in case of broken spring, nothing happens to the gun. You can continue competing. When you have the famous V-spring, is a perfect solution, but in this moment it's not easy to find a very, very good quality. So the coil spring in this moment is a very, very good solution. Yes, someone told me that is one of the top 5 guns. I'm very happy about this. But really, is a gun that is becoming more and more popular in UK for sure. Yeah, is a very, very good price for this quality of gun. We are talking about a laser engraving and finish by Bottega Giovanelli. We are talking about grade 3 wood. With a small extra, €1,000, you have also a full custom-made stock. So really, with under 10,000 pounds, sorry, you have a very, very good choice.
I agree.
Thank
Go
you.
for a high five. High five. Go. High five.